Hey guys, this is a review of Alien Covenant. I went to see it last Saturday, so let's get to it. This is a spoiler alert. Don't watch this if you haven't seen the movie, so please go away if you haven't seen it, or stay if you like to see spoilers before watching a movie, or to know if you really want to watch it. Well, whatever. This movie takes place after Prometheus, so we see the Alien universe again, directed by Ridley Scott, and this time the ship Covenant, which is a colony ship, arrives in a planet they shouldn't be in after some tragedy, and they discover that not only aliens exist in this planet and alien life forms, but also the android David, which was seen like his head only was seen at the end of Prometheus, with Noomi Rapace's character Elizabeth Shaw, Dr. Elizabeth Shaw, and they were supposed to go to the alien planet, but apparently David killed them all with the canisters full of, biological material, and he experimented on Elizabeth. Why? Because the big revelation of this movie is that David, an android, a synthetic if you will, was the creator of the xenomorph, and we actually see that happening when he tells the captain, like, here, look, come and see this beautiful alien egg that I harvested. Isn't it beautiful? Look, look. And the idiot captain is like, oh yeah, let's look. And of course he has a face hugger on his face, and he bursts an alien xenomorph. Actually it's like a neomorph, something, I don't know, there are so many names. A xenomorph bursts out of his chest, and the xenomorph apparently like loves David or something. He's like a big fan of him, whatever. Everyone is killed in this movie except two people at the end, including Daniels, which is played by Catherine Waterston, who looks awfully like Ellen Ripley from the first movie, but whatever. And she survives, but she, at the end of the movie, a spoiler again, it is revealed that it's not Walter, their synthetic, who's in the ship with them. It's actually David, because he killed Walter in the engineer city and the ruins. So that's pretty fucked up. So yeah, should you go see this movie? It depends, because I think you really have to be an Alien fan and understand a lot of the things that have happened in Prometheus and in the other Alien movies in order to understand some of the things. If you go in like you haven't seen anything ever again, you don't really understand the weight it has when it is revealed that Elizabeth died when the ship crashed. The ship didn't crash. He killed her, but whatever. And the names, and of course the logo of the Weyland Company, and there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where you have Peter Weyland talking to the brand new David, and you see that David wants to be able to create, and Peter Weyland is not going to let that happen because he only wants synthetics to be slaves. And synthetics are a huge part of the alien universe. There has always been like this racism, if you will, against them. So it's very interesting that it was because of David that it all began. He basically went insane and went all Dr. Frankenstein, which they reference in the movie, and he wanted to make his own creations because he doesn't think he thinks actually that humanity shouldn't be able to live. We shouldn't be able to have a second chance, basically, because he thinks that we did have a chance and we didn't really do that much with that, so he wants to kill us all. And because he's based all his perception of humanity in Peter Weyland, and even if Dr. Shaw treated him nicely, he doesn't give a shit. So yeah, should you watch this movie? I think you should see Prometheus first, and many people are saying that you should see Blade Runner too, because Blade Runner has a lot to do with synthetics, with androids, and it's kind of interesting to make the parallels because both movies are directed by Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott, I think, once said that one of the mentors of Mr. Weyland was actually Mr. Tyrell, which is the owner of the Tyrell Company, which is the one that creates synthetics in Blade Runner. So that's pretty interesting. So Blade Runner is like the past in the alien universe. So that's pretty interesting, actually. Is it terrifying? Not really. I mean, it's kind of disgusting sometimes because of the open like bodies and the chest bursters and everything, but it's not really that scary. I think the first Alien was the scariest of them all, and Aliens was actually pretty scary too, but Prometheus wasn't really scary. It was kind of gross actually, and Alien Covenant is not at all scary. What is bad about this movie? Well, actually, I think the first part, like the exposition of the movie, where you learn who's who and why they are there and everything. I mean, it's a big crew made out of couples, so you have to figure out who's with who. But I think that takes a little bit too long actually. I mean, it begins with this accident that they have because a star basically blew up close, and the ship was almost destroyed. I think it's a little bit too long, that start. They take a bit too long to get to the planet where they found David and the aliens, and I think they could have spent a little bit more there in order to explain what some of the things that weren't explained in Prometheus. So that's kind of the thing that I didn't get. I think the screenplay shouldn't have stayed so long with them in the ship, but whatever. The last half is actually very predictable, should I say, because you know what's going to happen. You know at the end that that's not Walter. I mean, when I saw him like walking out of the ruins when they were running to the ship in order to get the fuck out of there, it was pretty obvious to me that that was Walter. Well, that was David, sorry. Actually, I went to see it with my mother, this movie, and when the guy came out, she was like, oh no, he made it out, he's evil, he's going to kill him. And I think that was exactly the opposite of the reaction that the people that did the movie wanted. So I was like, my mom knew that, and she didn't even remember everything about Prometheus. She remembered most of it, but not everything. So it's kind of funny that she's a casual Alien fan, and she actually knew everything that was going to happen. So I think that's kind of bad. You should at least have one big surprise, and the big surprise here was that in fact David created the xenomorph. I mean, he created a machine to kill every single person, human person. I mean, humanity, to destroy humanity, which is weird because that's what the engineers were going to do with us in Prometheus. So I don't really know if the next step for David is coming back to Earth and exterminate us all, or or as it is portrayed in the movie, he's going to move to this colony world and make experiments there. I mean, it's weird because he reported back sending a message saying that every colonist died except all the crew died except Daniels and the guy played by Danny McBride, and they were heading to the new colony world. So I don't know what he's going to do. What are his plans? Is he going to lure some people to come for him or something like that? That's obvious because we always need new blood in these movies because everyone keeps getting killed. And apparently the next movie will be an interquel, which means that it will take place between Prometheus and Alien Covenant, which I don't think it's a good idea. I hope they remake that and they just explain what the hell happens afterwards. We already know what happened between Prometheus and Alien Covenant, so yeah, I mean, it's sad that Elizabeth Shaw died. I think it was an undeserving death because she survived so much in Prometheus, so it doesn't really make sense to me that she would die so stupidly just before this movie. But yeah, I mean, David was pretty insane, so he took advantage of her kindness and just killed her and experimented on her and opened her. I mean, it's awful what he did to her when you see her body. I mean, that's like, oh, it's very disgusting. So I mean, it's pretty heavy. I think the very good thing about this movie is that it poses a lot of questions about faith, about what do you think about humanity? Are we good? Are we bad? What the fuck are we? Because we're not good, we're not great, but we are not the worst either. So you just analyze that and you say like, okay, I get why David hates us, but we made a mistake creating something like him, because he was able to think for himself, to have a personality, to have many decisions of his own, and that's why Walter was killed, because he didn't have that. So it's pretty haunting that something that we created is in turn going to destroy us by creating something else. So that's the amazing part of these movies, actually, is that it's all so psychological, if you will, and it hasn't always been psychological. I mean, the former movies, as I said, were horror movies. Were sincere horror movies, and they were not psychological at all. They just wanted you to be scared. Alien and Aliens, to a less extent, Alien 3. Alien Resurrection is just a crazy thing. I mean, I like the movie, but it's so crazy. And Prometheus was actually very psychological and based on faith and everything, God and who made us and where do we come from. And I don't know if we will ever answer that question in the Alien universe, because the engineers were killed and we don't know if anyone got to ask them why did you made us, and why did you want to kill us? I mean, that's one of the big questions that this movie doesn't answer, and I hope it will be answered soon. And I'm kind of certain that there are other engineers in the universe, because that city was way too small for such an advanced civilization. So I hope we get to see the engineers again. And yeah, I recommend this movie. Again, you have to watch Prometheus before, but I think you have to. But I really recommend watching it. It's an entertaining movie. Entertaining movie, yes, and it has a great character with David, portrayed by Michael Fassbender. He's a great actor. He did a great job in Prometheus with that character. He does a great job in this movie with that character and Walter. I mean, he's really, really great in this movie. And now that apparently he doesn't have the X-Men franchise, he does have the Alien franchise, so that's great. So yeah, that's my review for Alien Covenant. Very recommended. Go see it. I think it's available everywhere in the cinemas now, so just go and see it. And I will do another review very soon about another movie that opened not like 2 months ago, but that's kind of recently, like Logan a little bit. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this review. Watch these two last videos also in English, and please subscribe to my channel. Please help me reach 100 subscribers. Thank you so much. Goodbye.